Welcome to eBhungweni Prison, the only super maximum prison in South Africa. It is known for making the hardest criminals soft. It is the home of the Blue Lights gang leader, William Mashabane Mbata. It is also the home of Nigerian terrorist Henry Oka.
This is the worst prison I've ever been in, whether it's in Nigeria or in Angola or anywhere. This is the worst kind of place you can keep anyone.
It is also the home of notorious 28th prison gang leader, George Geweld Thomas.
I'm gonna be brutally honest. I'm not saying I regret it because my whole life shaped the person that I am today. But what I know for a fact, if I could have changed some things, I wouldn't be here where I am now.
And from today, 30 December 2025, the new home of Cat Matlala.
A man's got to do what a man's got to do to survive.
No prisoner has ever escaped from eBhungweni. Ananias Mate, known for escaping a 2 maximum prisons in South Africa, tried his luck, but he failed.
He tried to cut the glass, and then he tried to unscrew on the top there, as you can see, but all that was in vain.
And if there is a man who could also try, it's Sibusiso Tilili Msimela. You see, Tilili, before coming to eBhungweni, escaped from South African prisons 9 times, but not at eBhungweni. This is the story of the rise and fall of Mzansi's modern-day Houdini, Empangeni's most notorious gangster, Sibusiso Tilili Msimela. He again escaped during the commute. He was arrested and detained at a prison in Vryheid in 2009. He again escaped, and then he was arrested, and he was detained at the Kalangabusha Correctional Center. On August 4, 2007, around midday, 9 inmates escaped from Unit 12 and Unit 16A of the prison. The prisoners moved through all the gates with no hindrance. They cut the diamond mesh of the passage and then also cut the wire fence. The prisoners had 2-way radios on them. And in a report that was presented in Parliament on this escape, it was discovered that the prisoners were able to escape because the wardens were negligent. They did not supervise cells. They left cells unmanned. They failed to search prisoners. The prison was short-staffed because some wardens were late for work on that day. And they also said the electricity security fence and the CCTV were switched off on the day. And some wardens worked with the prisoners. Tilili was said to be the mastermind behind this prison escape.
Preliminary investigations indicate the inmates escaped through a communal window cell. They had bent the window's bars.
The 5 of awaiting trial detainees that managed to escape from Empangeni were committed to correctional services for serious crimes. They are charged for murder. They are charged for armed robbery. We would like to indicate to the public at large that these crimes that they've committed, we categorize them as dangerous people.
Correctional Services Minister at the time, Nqonde Balfour, had to cancel his scheduled trip to Swaziland for an urgent meeting on this escape and the rearrest of the prisoners. 3 of the prisoners were quickly rearrested in areas such as Hluhluwe, Mtubatuba, and Eskaleni. 2 were shot in an exchange with the police, and 1 was shot and killed. Tilili was rearrested. And these were some of his early escapes from prison, and he was still in his late 20s at the time. Between 2005 and 2010, Tilili had escaped 8 times from prison holding cells to maximum prisons. And then, in 2010, Tilili would mastermind his biggest prison escape yet. In February 2010, after his arrest following the escapes at Kalangabusha Correctional Center and at Vryheid, Tilili was sent to a more secure prison, the Durban Westville prison. This prison was notorious. He shared a prison with the likes of ATM Boma and Matlala Kimhlongo. The prison also had Nhlanhla Mngadi, Dumisani Shandu, Mandla Mavundla, and Mnqobi Mabaso. And it was also the home of the sugarcane murderer Tozamile Taki, who is known for raping multiple women, killing them, and then throwing their bodies at a sugarcane field. They also had Simon Edward Baku, the man who was arrested for running a fake bail syndicate. Someone would organize fake bail documents using official papers and prison stamps to release prisoners on fake bail. All of these prisoners were awaiting trial at the Westville prison. On February 21, 2010, around 4 p.m., 9 prisoners downloaded a map from the internet. They had a cell phone, and they also had construction tools that they had stolen from a construction company that was doing work at the prison. The 9 prisoners were held at the medium A section of Westville prison. They cut through steel doors and window bars and the grily gates and climbed down a rope made from bed sheets to get out. Some of them escaped in a black BMW that was waiting outside the prison. The prisoners included Matlala and Tozamile. Simon and Tilili were the masterminds behind this escape. The BMW used to escape is Simon's car. While they were jumping the fence, Tozamile fell. He hurt himself and broke his leg. He started screaming so loud the guards heard them. So the guards ran and they arrested Tozamile while the rest of the prisoners fled. Tozamile was rearrested immediately on the day. Simon was rearrested at a relative's home just days later at Umlazi. When he appeared in court following his arrest, Simon said he didn't really escape. He said he just missed his family because he was detained for 10 months, so he decided to leave the prison after he was denied bail to go and see his family. He said he didn't run. He was simply at home. He was rearrested by the police while he was fetching his kids from school. He was sentenced to 3 years in prison and sent straight to the Ebongweni maximum security prison. But Tilili was gone. He made a run for it. The police then launched a massive manhunt for him and the other prisoners. During this time, Tilili refused to keep a low profile. He went on a criminal rampage. In the month he was on the run, Tilili conducted massive cash and transit heists. He stole, he robbed, and he hijacked cars. The police say he hijacked 12 cars in the Madadeni, Newcastle area alone during this time. The police were looking for him high and low. On March 31, 2010, just over a month after his escape from Westville, the police said that he was allegedly hiding at a home that he used to rent in Empangeni. This is KwaZulu-Natal's home. So they then went to look for him and arrest him when the Katamena Head Squad shot and killed Kwazi. How the police then decided to enter the home by shooting first without proper procedure remains a mystery, and one that Umkhonto Wesizwe political party once reinvestigated, as I mentioned earlier. They did not find Tilili at Kwazi's home. According to reports, Tilili was busy conducting massive cash and transit heists and living a soft life. He was partying with criminal gains. He was living a life of luxury. He was accumulating money, and he was becoming a notorious cash and transit gang kingpin. In March 2010, Tilili struck again. This time, him and another prisoner he escaped from Westville prison with, Dumisani Shandu, robbed a couple of their car, a VW Polo at gunpoint in Newcastle. The car had a tracker, and after the couple reported the case, the police tracked the car and found it at an area in Port Petersburg. They found Tilili and Dumisani. The pair was arrested, and the police found them with 4 guns on them. This would be Tilili's last and 9th prison escape. He was found guilty of 3 counts of armed robbery and 7 counts of kidnapping, among others. He was sentenced to a collective 95 years in prison in 2011, and he was sent straight to Ebongweni prison, where he will only be considered for parole after serving 25 years of his sentence.
Impilo la ejele inzima. Ngiyizwe nje mhlambe bekhohliswa mhlambe abanye abantu umuntu ongaze angene ejele ethi la ise 5-star hotel la awukwazi ubona bonje uqala once wasuswa ebantwini bakini emphakathini kukodwa nje lokho kwekulimaza umqondo awukwazi ukuzenzela.
I have already touched on the conditions at Ebongweni, and let's recap. Ebongweni is a super maximum correctional center in Kokstad, KwaZulu-Natal. It is one of South Africa's most secure prison. In fact, it is called a super maximum prison. It houses inmates that are assessed as high-risk offenders. What sets Ebongweni apart and what has drawn intense scrutiny are the extreme restrictive conditions inside the facility. According to reports by the Judicial Inspectorate for Correctional Services, hundreds of inmates there are held alone in single cells for up to 22 or 23 hours a day, with bare minimum human contact and no meaningful social interaction. Prisoners typically spend their day isolated, with only 1 hour allocated for exercise, often in a small, separate exercise cage, and food is passed through a narrow slot in the cell door. The prison is said to be super cold. No one has ever escaped. In fact, the construction company which built the prison in 2002 said they would pay the department back every single cent of their money if just one prisoner escaped.
Correctional services and prison authorities claim the prison softens hardened criminals.
We pride ourselves that it is a center of last resort in the Republic. It is a center that when all else in the Republic has failed.
The conditions are so tough that when a prisoner is considered for parole, they have to go through another lesser harsher prison first to mentally prepare for social inclusion and rehabilitation before they are released to the public.
The Department of Correctional Services has confirmed that alleged cartel member and attempted murder accused Vusi Matlala has been moved to a super maximum correctional center in Kokstad, KwaZulu-Natal. And in a statement today, the DCS has described the move as a standard operational practice.
What has to be emphasized is that transfer of remand detainees and sentence offenders between correctional facilities is a standard operational practice, which is informed by a range of considerations, primarily security, safety, operational requirements, and effective inmate management across the correctional system. It has to be stated as well that the transfer of an inmate does not prejudice their legal rights or access to services.
What are your thoughts on this case? Please let us know your views in the comments. Personally, I am super interested in seeing where KwaZulu's case will wind up and where the newly renewed hope into making sure his killer is held accountable will end, because it has